Hello, my name is Arexia Nassif, and I'm going to be doing Unit 4 case studies. I've chosen cases 1 and 3, and I'm going to go ahead with the presentation. So I'm going to start with case 3 to just give you an overview of what the case was. It was about an elderly man. He was 47 years old, and he was presented with severe pain in his great toe. And then the severity of the pain continued overnight. And he was diagnosed with gout, and his labs were conducted, and the numbers were as follows. His plasma urate level was 10.5, and his urinary uric acid was 215. Normal levels for plasma urate is less than 7, so his plasma urate was elevated, and his urinary uric acid was not elevated, so because the normal levels would be 413 and his was only 215, so he was below around half. So the question here was an explanation for his diagnosis, and the answer I chose was decreased uric acid excretion in the urine. The reasoning behind this is that the sudden gout attack could be a dietary modification. Now, what is gout? It's just a type of arthritis, and their characteristics include severe pain, redness, tenderness in joints, and these are the stages of gout as presented. There's 4 stages. So in most patients, gout is caused by the decreased secretion of uric acid through the urine, and in the case above, the secretion of the uric acid has fallen considerably from 413 in 24 hours to 215. So as I stated, almost double. Okay, so uric acid is known to be the end product of the purine metabolism and purine overproduction, and it can be an underlying cause of elevated serum levels of the uric acid. However, there is no certainty because other factors come into play. So a couple of other factors that I've stated here, I've listed 2 that come into play, would be the deficiency in the purine metabolism itself and several medications that have increased uric acid levels over time. Okay, so this might not be the actual case because for the increase of acid in the plasma. And now I'm going to go ahead and describe why the other options wouldn't be correct for this specific case. The case provided other options such as decreased salvage of purines, and why that wouldn't be the answer is because it does not cause an elevation in plasma concentration of the uric acid. And to determine the roots, the cause of information about the reason of hyperuricemia is needed, which was not given in this specific case. So now the patient has also presented a case that he stated he has switched from diet soda to regular soda because the artificial sugars in the diet soda was not good for him. However, his case is not valid because the artificial sugars has nothing to do with uric acid levels, and that was the diagnosis, gout uric acid levels, and the artificial sugar has no association with that. Regular soda is just a sweetener that contains fructose, and fructose is known to raise uric acid levels. The patient's argument is not valid because, as I stated, there's no association. And fructose increases the uric acid levels by increasing its production through the ATP degradation, which is same as ATP hydrolysis in a way, to the AMP, which is known as the precursor for uric acid. The artificial sugars in diet soda are known as aspartame and saccharine. Aspartame is a non-saccharide and it's a metal ester group of aspartic acid, and saccharine is a 0-calorie sweetener, and the similarity between these two are they're sweeter than regular sugar, however there's 0 calories and all. So now I'm going to move on to case 1. I'll give you an overview of case 1 as well. So it was about a newborn girl that appeared normal at birth. However, within 24 hours, she developed lethargy, hypothermia, and apnea. And the labs were conducted, and her initial blood ammonia level was elevated at 314. Her uric acid was also elevated at 473, and her plasma citrulline was the only normal thing at 10. So therefore, the best diagnostics to explain all this and distinguish the relationship and the differences between beta oxidation and uric acid cycle would be the plasma glutamine. So characteristics of the plasma glutamine includes its non-toxic, non-essential amino acid, and it's involved in detoxification and breaking down and ammonia transport as well. So the reason I chose this diagnostic tool to be the best is because it's able to differentiate between the urea cycle disorder and the beta oxidation defect. So the relationship between free ammonia and plasma glutamine levels in the urea cycle is if one increases, the other one also increases. From this specific case and from the information provided to us, this seems to be a case of OTC deficiency. OTC is just the X-linked disorder that lacks the enzyme OTC, and it plays a role in breaking down and removing the nitrogen from the body. So OTC can differ from boys to girls. So in boys, it's associated with high levels of serum ammonia levels, and with girls, it's associated with causing mutations of the X chromosome, and this could lead to something like apnea. Glutamine increases, and glutamine levels are normal in beta oxidation defects, and the levels range from 500 to 750. Those are normal ranges. So explanation continued for the urea cycle. We know that the carbonyl phosphate goes into the mitochondria, and this is all shown in the cycle over here. I know it's a little bit hard to follow, but I will explain it. And after it goes into the mitochondria, it leads to the escaping in the cytoplasm. After then, it leads to the synthesis of the pyrimidine, and this causes the increased amount of the orotic actin in the urine. And the orotic acids helps distinguish the difference from OTC deficiency and the carbonyl phosphates, which is also known as CPS1. And in this particular case, the affected enzyme would be the OTC deficiency, and the carbonyl phosphate, which is also CPS1, would be the least likely enzyme to be disabled due to this distinguishation. Okay, and then now I have my references. This is for the OTC deficiency. It explains everything in depth, and Wortman explains Guth and hyperuricemia, which is the information that was not available to us. However, it's a very interesting read, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you got something out of it. Thank you.